Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brian Hodges. I'm the Senior Associate Director for Recruitment and Outreach at in the Undergrad Admissions Office at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through our presentation, talk about the perks and opportunities at the University of Illinois, and then we're going to go through the application process. So I'm actually curious, we have about 90 or so participants. You do have the opportunity to raise your hand. So I am curious, how many seniors do we have in the audience? You can raise your hand so we can see how many seniors are in the audience. Should be able to raise hands. Guess we can't. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go forward with the presentation and talk about University of Illinois. University of Illinois, we have several different power of I statements that we do have, and that the power of I, it kind of helps you harness your power and make the world and put your mark on the world. And first, we're going to start with innovation. When it comes to innovation, we were established about 150 years ago. A lot of the most creative, cutting edge thoughts are encouraged here on our campus, and we want to have a focus on the future. So we're always thinking about what can we do going forward to provide opportunities for students to do things, again focusing on what's available in the future. In that future, we have a lot of different ways that students can find new and better solutions. Graduates from the University of Illinois created the first World Wide Web, so all your smartphones, all the information you're trying to find on Google or Yahoo, that was started at University of Illinois. Our founders of YouTube and PayPal were also University of Illinois grads. Special education, the first multidisciplinary research opportunity that you'll find within special education started here at University of Illinois. Another resource that we also provided for students is our Division of Disability Resources and Educational Services. This was started right at the end of World War II. Veterans are coming back from that war and wanted to go to universities. And our campus realized that we didn't have as many resources available to students with disabilities. And this actually started on our campus. And now we're actually a model for multiple universities, not only across the US, but across the world, and how they work with students with disabilities. So that's just some ways that we have, or we show innovation to solve some of the bigger problems that are happening around the world. Which leads me to my next point as far as inspiration. The education you're going to receive at University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign will inspire you to start thinking big. When you start thinking about big, we want to help you find your passion. And your passion starts with the academics. We're going to talk about other aspects of that passion that you'll find on our campus, but we also want to see where you're going to find your passion as far as your major is concerned. And we find that in 11 different academic communities on our campus. Within those academic communities house about 150 different majors are available to you. So as you can see the different options that we do have, I also encourage you to go to our website, go.illinois.edu/majors. What you'll find there is our program explorer. For all the different majors that we do offer, you're going to see specifically what's information about the major you're interested in that we offer. So you're going to receive a brief description. You're going to see the cost of that particular major, because I'll talk about that a little bit later. There is a cost based on the major you're going into. You'll see outcomes of that major. So you'll see job placement rates, you'll see grad school placement rates, you'll see average starting salary. So you see a lot of information about what the outcomes will be. You'll also see related majors, and that's going to be something we'll talk about in the application, about how you will figure out which majors you want to apply to, and some of those majors will be similar. So you see, like I said, we have 11 different academic communities. A lot of them have a lot of great resources. They have a lot of great outcomes for our students. A lot of our students know about the Geese College of Business, the Granger College of Engineering, but our information science program is very popular. It was started last year. And that's for students interested in the user experience when it comes to using data. So not the computer science aspect or programming aspect, but information regarding how people use that particular data. So information science is a great program to go into. Our Geese College of Business is pretty awesome, but half our majors are actually housed in the College of Agriculture, Consumer, and Environmental Sciences, or the College of ACES. So lots of variety of ways you can find your major and find out exactly what you want to go get into. Some majors might not fall into the categories you think. Like our chemical engineering program is actually in our liberal arts and science college, along with economics. You might think that might be in College of Business, but actually it's in liberal arts and sciences. About 25% or so of our students are actually selected or admitted as Division of General Studies students, or the undeclared option. 50% of our students that come to our campus change their major. So again, They're going to work with the Division of General Studies because we have advisors, award-winning advisors, who do a lot of fantastic work in helping students explore which majors they want to go into. So hopefully you eventually find your passion as far as what major or what career you actually want to go into. And again, they also help students find their path. So again, it really doesn't matter what major you're interested in. We have a lot of variety of different things that are available for our students. You also see that inspiration when it comes to our classes. Now, we have a lot of different classes that are available to students. Now, with the COVID-19 pandemic, about 2/3 of our classes are online. About a third are available to meet with a professor one-on-one. But we have over 7,000 different courses that are available to students. Now, we are a bigger institution, but it doesn't mean that all of our classes will be huge auditorium-style classes, or in this case, will be online with hundreds of students. 80% of our classes are less than 50 students. So you still get to know your professor, they get to know who you are, they get to know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and also this is a great resource to reach out to those professors because they do have office hours that are available to them or available to our students. They're not sitting in their office doing research assignments, they're not doing anything outside the classroom. They're sitting there waiting for students to either give them a call or email them or ask them specifically what's going on in their particular field. Sometimes it's about who you know rather than what you know. And the professors are a great resource for you to reach out to and learn more about what's available in their particular field and hopefully your field so they can help you with that next step as far as finding your passion and finding your path. And speaking of professors, do have a 18-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So again, we're a bigger institution. So again, you're going to see that connection with our professors, even though we're a bigger campus, just to have a lot of one-on-one interaction with those particular professors. The way our students actually get involved outside the classroom is in a variety of ways. Some are internship opportunities or experiential learning. As a whole, majority of our students are involved in internships. A majority of our students are involved in research. And usually when you hear research, you think of lab coats, you think of laboratories, you think of science. But 68% of our students are involved in research. So that's more than just the science field. That's more than just engineering. That's more than just business. We have a lot of federally funded educational research opportunities that are available to students. We have research involved in some of our fine and applied arts. So think about architecture or music. So again, it doesn't have to necessarily mean science, but you actually have research in a variety of different ways that students can get involved in. And even though we cut back a little bit on the study abroad program, 30% of our students actually take advantage of studying abroad. And again, it's a great way for students to learn about specific cultures if you want to get immersed in the culture and learn a second language, or if you don't want to do that aspect of it, but you still want to learn or take advantage of studying abroad. That opportunity is definitely there. We have about 350 different programs in over 60 different countries. You can go pretty much anywhere you want to go. Another great resource you can definitely check out is our two websites you see on the screen, undergradresearch.illinois.edu and studyabroad.illinois.edu. Go to those websites, you'll see a variety of different ways our students are getting involved in doing things outside the classroom that's going to help them with that next step as far as their career is concerned. This page you see right here is a picture of some of the different companies that are in our research park. Research Park on the University of Illinois Urbana Champaign campus, how it sits in about the southwest part of campus near our State Farm Center. And we have over a little 100 different companies that are available there, from Fortune 500 companies to startup companies started by recent graduates. Is a great way to explore your entrepreneurial spirit. Now, again, it doesn't matter what major you're in, doesn't matter what year in school you're in. If you want to take advantage of this research park, it's definitely available to you. They do pay students pretty well. Obviously, you're not a college graduate yet, so you're going to getting paid what a college graduate gets paid. But they do get paid pretty well. But as a student, you'll probably work about at maximum about 20 hours. Most students usually work between 5 to 10 hours, but you work with these different companies, do their particular research. If you do well enough, sometimes there are jobs waiting for you once you graduate from University of Illinois. So another is a great way to gain that experience, maybe not in research in your major, but research working with some of these different companies. So another way that students kind of find their power is involvement on our campus. And we have a lot of different opportunities that are available to students to get involved. We have a lot of different student groups. I talked about internships, research opportunities, and global experiences. We have a lot of different ways to connect with the campus and the broader Champaign-Urbana community through our different concerts and festivals that we do have. Our Big Ten sports, even though football was on hiatus for a little bit, that'll be coming back towards the end of October, and they're going to make sure the students are safe when it comes to participating in some of those different events. But again, Big Ten sports, we have 19 Division I sports on our campus. 17 of the sports are free for our current students. Two sports, football and men's basketball, there is a discounted cost that our students do have to pay to participate again, but that's a lower cost than what it gives out to the general population. We have several different cultural activities. We have several cultural houses on campus. So if you want to learn more about your specific culture, or you want to learn about a culture you're not too familiar with, it is a great way to learn and get that social education on top of the academic education that you get on our campus. We also have a variety of leadership opportunities that students can take advantage of. Now, there's also a leadership minor, which is housed in our college of basis. There are also leadership seminars that are available, and also leadership presentations that you can participate in, where you meet with professors and talk about different leadership theories and ways that you can learn that particular aspect of working with individuals. On top of that, you can get leadership opportunities to work with our different student organizations, and I'll get to that in our next slide. Some of you that are interested in the in being active. We do have intramurals on our campus where you compete with students on campus. There are club sports that we compete with students from different universities, and those are a little bit more competitive. Some of those different sports they do have to try out for, but again, it's another way to keep those competitive juices flowing and stay pretty active. I talk about some of our student groups. We have over 1,800 registered student organizations or RSOs on our campus. They range from political, social, cultural, volunteer, sport, academic, to pretty much anything you can think of. We also have some fun-loving organizations as well. We have our October Lovers Club, which is coming up soon, where students, I don't necessarily say they watch the leaves change color, but definitely pay attention to the changes that happen during the months of October. So our different corn mazes or hay rides or haunted houses that are available to students, they definitely take advantage of that opportunity. Now, a few years ago, we had a club where a squirrel watching club where students took time out of their day to watch squirrels run around on campus. There were so many squirrels running around on campus and so many students that are interested in watching squirrels. We also had a Watchers of Squirrel Watching Club. Now, this hasn't been in existence for a little while, but if you are interested, and when we have the opportunity for students to come visit our campus, eventually, you will see the number of squirrels that are running around on campus, and that's another opportunity for students to get involved in different things. Now, that was just one aspect of our campus, but I say that to say a lot of our students are involved in a variety of different activities. On average, they probably participate in about 3 to 5 different organizations, and it's something that is actually missing. You can start your own group very easy. Get a few students with the same interests. You fill out some paperwork in our student affairs office, and you can start our own group. You can go to our website, go.illinois.edu/RSO, and see the list of organizations that we do have and see what opportunities are available to students as far as getting involved on campus. Like I said before, that connection with the larger Champaign-Urbana community helps us have one of the best campus towns in the U.S. So you see these 6 letters. I don't know if any of your parents or your aunts or uncles or family friends are alums of University of Illinois. Usually when you hear these first 3 letters, you're going to hear the last 3 letters. And as they chant the alums use to make sure they call out. That is a part of being alum, is hearing this. I'm actually an alum of University of Illinois. My wife and I was traveling one day. I had on an Illinois shirt. Somebody yelled ILL, and I yelled back I and I. My wife thought I was a little nuts, but that's just what we do because they show that passion for the University of Illinois. Another way that you're going to experience the University of Illinois education and how you can harness that power is that supportive, like family, like community that you're going to see on campus. You see, there's a spirit of openness, of access, and equity, and that's all about how University of Illinois is inclusive. And if you think about the University of Illinois family, we are a huge family. We have a little under 34,000 students on campus. We've reached over 50,000 total student body, including graduate students as well. We have one of the best diversity rates amongst Midwest institutions in the U.S. and which was going to happen when you come to our campus. You're going to see a lot of students that look like you, come from the same area as you, but you'll meet a lot more students from different backgrounds as you, different ways they were raised in different areas of the country and different countries. That's also going to help you with your social education. And I talked about it a little bit earlier. You're going to get that academic part, but you're also going to meet a variety of different people and how you're going to work with those different populations. Eventually, work in those different individuals in the workplace, and it's going to help you immensely. Again, we're represented by the entire uh, all 50 states of the U.S. and over 100 plus different countries. So you're going to meet a lot more students from different backgrounds. It's going to help you grow, both grow socially. You also see our community on campus, and you're going to see that through our residence halls. We have 35 total on our campus. 24 are university housing, which is ran by university and houses our students. We also have 11 private certified housing options. Those are privately owned and certified by university to house our students. Within those different options, you'll see 11 living learning communities. And depending on your interest, whether it's major specific or interest specific, you can actually gain that community through the different limited learning options. So if you're women in STEM is interested, you're interested in that, the options available from exploratory if you're undecided about a major, to our business, to our leads if you're interested in leadership. So there's ways that students can gain that community on our campus. You also see a variety of support systems for our students, from our different cultural centers to our resource centers to our career center. Career center is going to be beneficial because it helps you with interview skills, resume writing opportunities, and a career fair that we actually work. We have a big career fair that happens in both semesters. We also work with individual colleges so you can learn the interview skills for your particular major and your particular career. You're also going to find how that power by that individuality is important, because every individual's story is different, and what your path is going to be different than everybody else. Regardless of you're in the same major or different majors, you're going to find your story will be different. And one of the stories I want to showcase was the story of one of our 2020 graduates, Tafik. He's an electrical engineering major with a minor in business. He's a part of our HEFT technology and management program. He served as the president for the National Society of Black Engineers. He owns his own creative digital media startup, Tosh Enterprises. He took advantage of all the different opportunities, and hopefully you can see yourself making your own different choices and carve your path in Illinois. If you want to hear more stories about Tafik or other students on our campus, definitely visit our website, journeys.illinois.edu. So now you heard about the power by. How do you harness that power? You're going to harness that power by reaching out or starting your application. There are two ways you can apply to our campus. One is through the My Illini account. If you want to apply directly to our campus, use the My Illini account. We also have a coalition application. If you want to apply to multiple institutions at the same time, you can use the coalition application. We don't have a preference either way when you apply to our campus. If you do apply through coalition, you will have to create a My Illini account so you can check your application status and you can get the information about what your decision will be. Definitely go to our website, apply.illinois.edu, and you'll be able to create your My Illini account there. When you apply to our campus, you'll use the online application. You'll self-report your academic record, and you'll self-report your test scores, which is optional this year, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. When you apply to our campus, make sure you have a unofficial copy, either in your hand or on your screen, of your transcript, because what we're going to ask you to do is, again, self-report your academic record. So we want to match what's on your transcript to what's going to be on that application. So make sure you have a copy, so you're putting that information there, putting that accurate information in there. It'll probably take you about 30 minutes or so to fill that information out. Not probably the bulk of the time you're filling out an application. But again, make sure you have an unofficial copy of the transcript and match what's putting in your application. Because if you apply to our campus, you're admitted, and you decide to come to our campus, we're going to ask for that final high school transcript. And if we receive that final high school transcript and it doesn't match what's in the application, that can be some issues. And it doesn't happen that often, but we have rescinded admission of students that sent in an application that didn't match their final high school transcript. Same thing with your test scores. You're going to self-report your test scores, and if you come to our campus, you're admitted and decide to attend our campus, you'll need to officially send those test scores to us. If they don't match with what you sent, what you recorded in the official test scores, that could be an issue. So make sure you have that information right there when you're filling out the application. The application fee is $50 for domestic students, $75 for international students. There is a fee waiver opportunity there. That has to come from your school counselor. If you do qualify for a fee waiver, that will waive the application fee. These are our application dates. You'll notice usually in the past we've had 2 notification dates. We will have 1 this year. We do have an early action filing period that's from September 1st to November 15th. If you apply during this period, especially for our more competitive programs, if you want to be considered for honors programs or any merit-based awards, definitely apply during the early action period. A higher percentage of our students that apply during early action tend to receive either have a higher percentage of being admitted to some of the more competitive programs, higher percentage of receiving honors designation, and receiving merit-based awards. If you do apply during early action, this is a non-binding period. Our regular filing period is between September 1st to January 5th. So that is the deadline, January 5th, to get the application in totality. The notification date this year will be in mid-February. Now, like I said, usually we had 2 dates, and the reason we changed this for this year was because of COVID-19. You know, some students were not able to take their SAT or ACT this year during that time frame. So again, and some students will be taking those test scores either this month or in October. So again, we wanted to make sure students are able, if they are going to take the test, to be able to submit those test scores in time. So we will notify students and parents and counselors when exactly that date will be after the January 5th deadline, but it will come out in mid-February. So now talk about how we're going to review you. Now, we have a holistic approach when it comes to the application process, so we do look at all aspects of the application. When you submit your self-reported academic record, we're going to look at your grades specifically, and we're going to look at course rigor. And we're going to base the decision based on what's available at your school. So we have high school profiles from pretty much a majority of the schools, obviously in the state and around the world. So we're going to base the rigor based on what's available to your school. If your school offers several AP classes or offers IB classes, we want to see you taking some of those courses. If your school does not offer those AP or IB courses, we want to see what you've taken based on what's available at your particular school. We're not comparing you from one school to the other. We want to see what you've done based on what's available at your particular school. Again, this year, ACT and SAT test scores are optional this year. You should truly think about your test scores if you have taken one and how does that fit into your overall high school performance. If the test scores are indicative of how you performed in high school, submit those scores. If you're not proud of those test scores and are not indicative of how you performed in high school, you do not have to submit those scores. It's going to be based on how you feel. Definitely, again, look at our program Explorer. Look at our freshman academic profile. You'll see our middle 50% as far as our ACT or SAT ranges. Again, that's just to give you an idea of where students fall. About 25% of those students were admitted below those scores, 25% were admitted above those scores. So it's really going to be based on you. Once you've applied and submitted your application, you won't be able to change if you're going to use your test or not. So again, it's important before you submit your application, if you want to use that test score or not. And you don't have an advantage either way. If you use your test scores or not, again, it's going to be based on what your decision is. We also look at extracurricular activities in the application. There's space to put 8. You do not have to have 8 different activities. Put down the activities you're most proud of. We're definitely going to take into account COVID-19 and maybe some activities you were not able to participate in. You have an opportunity to explain that actually in the application. Next thing I want to talk about is the essay. The essay is about 300 to 400 words. In that, you can tell us why you're interested in a certain major. Tell us what things you've done to cultivate that interest. Notice if you look at the essay prompt, we don't ask about why you love Illinois. We're going to assume that already. We want you to make sure you answer this question: why you're interested in university, why you interested in your major, and what have you done to cultivate that interest. If you're undecided about your major, and that's definitely your first choice, you can explain your academic interests, you can explain your goals, what majors you might be interested in on our campus. When you apply to university, we also give you a first choice and a second choice option. Now, if you give us a second choice, this is not going to disadvantage you from your first choice, but I truly encourage students to make sure you give us a second choice option. So if you apply to our campus, say you're interested in biology as a first choice and chemistry as a second choice, you're going to write an essay For biology, we're going to review you for that first choice. If things don't work out, you're not admissible, we're looking at you for the second choice, and you will have to write an essay for that second choice. If things don't work out for that second choice, we're going to see what other avenues of admission that you might be eligible for based on your application. So if you think about the sciences, you're interested in the health science field, we'll see what other science fields you might be admissible for. And our Division of General Studies could be an option for you. Now, if you're an out-of-state student or an international student, I would highly encourage you, if you give it a second choice, make sure it's a specific second choice major. Do not put Division of General Studies as your second choice if you're out of state or international. Now, if you apply to our campus and you only give us one choice, say you really want to come to our campus just for bioengineering, that is definitely your choice. But what will happen if we go through the application process and review you for bioengineering and you're not admissible, that's where the application process stops. Two choices shows us you're really interested in University of Illinois. One choice shows you're really interested in University of Illinois for that particular major. So I highly encourage you to give us two actual majors. Now, for students that are considered in-state, if you give us a second choice as Division of General Studies or undeclared, you will now have to write an essay for that second choice. Again, this is the middle 50% admitted profile. This kind of gives you a range of our students that were admitted. Now, this is just for the class as a whole. We had individual middle 50% for colleges. And like I said, 25% of students are below these scores, 25% are above these scores. But you see the website for our freshman profile, so you definitely can take a look at that. Your application is used as an application for the honors program. We have our campus-wide program, which is really competitive. Our Chancellor Scholars Program or campus program. Our top 125 students are selected for that. We also have our college program. Those are our college-specific or James Scholars programs, and the colleges make decisions based on the application of who to select for those honors programs. You'll see our costs, and definitely go to our website, cost.illinois.edu. You'll see that range for tuition for Illinois resident, non-resident, international. That's our differential tuition. Our STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and math, tend to be on the higher end of that cost. Now, if you stay in your major for all 4 years, tuition will be locked for all 4 years. And you see that the room and board costs are about average, can go up or down depending on where you decide to live. Book supply cost is about average. We do have a book rental option that will lower that cost. And you see our other expenses that can anywhere from toiletries to meals are spread around campus. It's important if you do, you can apply for the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. That application opens up October 1st. About 71% of our students do receive some sort of aid. And within that group, a majority do receive scholarships and grants. That could be through our university or through the FAFSA or other scholarships and grants outside of that. 36% do receive some sort of loans, both state and federal loans, and about 5% of our students do qualify for some of our work-study programs. So you also see the impact of a University of Illinois education. We do have a top-tier education. You see we're definitely ranked U.S. News and World Report. We have a big number of Nobel Prize and Pulitzer Prize winners, and all the things I talked about, including how our education, how our students perform, helps us have one of the best returns on investment in the Big Ten. You also see the success that we do have. This is a great website for students to go to, go.illinois.edu, where you see Illini success. You'll see what our recent graduate student, and if you're interested in your particular major, you also can find out what students are doing in your field. So you actually go to that website and see what students are doing for English or computer engineering or secondary education or elementary education. So you'll see where these students are going. You also see where they're going as far as the companies they work for. So I know that was a lot of information. I think we have about 4 minutes left. If you do have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out to the admissions office. You'll see our phone number, you see our email address, you'll see our website. We're also on social media. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm going to put my email address in the chat box so you can put that information there. I'm also going to put a website for our exploration guide. Usually when we do college fairs, there's a booklet that we give out to students, but this is a website where you can go and see more information and least you different parts of our application that you can reach out to. So now we have a few minutes left. I'm going to go through the Q&A. I'll probably be able to answer a few questions, but please, if you do have any questions, feel free to submit that information, because what's going to happen if I can't answer all these questions, I'm going to get information and I can email you specifically so I can answer your questions. So let's see. One question is, do you guys help get internship opportunities? We do, regardless what major or college you're going into, we do help students with internship opportunities. So that's part of that when you come to our campus. The question was about what would other expenses be? That could be purchasing toiletries. That could be purchasing groceries. If you live in one of the apartments around campus. Um, Again, if you're not getting a meal plan, if you want to eat something outside of the campus, gas. If you do actually have a car, so we do allow freshmen to have cars. Travel expenses. So if you're from out of state, flying back to your home, that's an option too. So other expenses could be a variety of things. That's a yearly cost. The question for applications, applies to junior and senior. For University of Illinois, you apply specifically when you're a junior in high school. I'm sorry, when you're a senior in high school. I'm sorry about that. The question, how many essays in total do you need to apply? If you give us two application choices and they're both specific majors, you will submit two essays. I know the coalition has a general personal statement that you have to submit. We do not use that in the application review. The question about your first choice major is business. Can you use a second choice of major of business? If you do choose the Geese College of Business as your first choice, you will come in. It will be an unassigned major that you'll apply to. You can choose a different second choice business major, but it won't be in the same college. Then that's not available as a second choice. So if you're thinking about economics, or you're thinking about statistics, you're thinking about financial planning, those are not in the Geese College of Business. So you can use those as a second choice. So I think I am out of time. Like I said, I'm going to put the website and my email address in. I was like, I can't do that. I was going to put it in the chat, but I won't be able to. But if you do have any questions concerning this, please feel free to email me. My email address is B as in boy, S as in Sam, Hodges, HODGES, at illinois.edu. So that is the best place to get a hold of me. You also can reach out to us um, for our admissions page, admissions.illinois.edu. So thank you for your time. I think our our host will finish off with a few words.